Hello, my friends. This is Dr. Alan Mandell. Today, I'm going to share 7 simple movements that can rebuild your leg strength, improve balance, and prevent falls, especially after the age of 70. These moves take less than 10 minutes, and you can do them right at home. No gym, no equipment, just your body. Most people believe that growing older means growing weaker, but the truth is far more shocking. Your legs are not failing because of age. They're failing because no one ever taught you the 7 simple movements that keep them young. After 70, the body loses muscle at a rate 3 to 4 times faster than in middle age. Scientists call it sarcopenia, and it silently steals strength from millions of seniors every year. But what most people don't know is that your muscles are still fully capable of rebuilding themselves even at 70, 80, and beyond. Your body is not shutting down. It is simply waiting for the right signal to wake back up. And these 7 movements are that signal. Imagine your legs like a house. If you don't touch the foundation for years, cracks appear. But if you repair the structure a little every day, the entire building becomes strong again. That's what these moves do. They rebuild the foundation. They reactivate dormant muscle fibers, reawaken blood flow, and train your nerves to fire the way they did decades ago. Even NASA research shows that just a few minutes of targeted movement per day can reverse muscle loss caused by long periods of inactivity. And scientists at Harvard discovered that seniors who practice simple leg strengthening exercises 3 times a week reduce their fall risk by over 55%. That means more mobility, more independence, more life. Picture the first move, a simple seated knee extension. It looks small, it looks easy, but inside your leg, it performs a miracle. Every time you straighten your knee, you trigger the quadriceps, the muscle responsible for walking, standing, climbing stairs, and protecting your knees from collapsing. Most seniors lose quad strength, not because they're old, but because they've spent years sitting too long. When muscles stop receiving movement, they shrink. When they shrink, they weaken. When they weaken, the joints suffer. But the moment you lift your leg and straighten it, tiny muscle fibers begin firing again, pumping blood into areas that haven't been nourished in years. Studies show that even minimal quad activation increases knee stability by up to 20%. That's the difference between standing confidently and falling without warning. Then comes the sit to stand, one of the most powerful predictors of longevity ever recorded. Doctors use it to measure biological age because it reveals how strong your glutes, hips, and core truly are. Every time you lower yourself into a chair and rise back up, you're telling your muscles you still matter. You're still alive. This single motion works over 200 muscle fibers and trains your brain to control your body under pressure. For seniors, this is more than exercise. It's survival training. It's the difference between being able to get off the toilet, get out of bed, get out of the car, or losing that independence forever. Researchers at the University of Sydney found a direct correlation between leg strength and lifespan. Stronger legs equal longer lives, and this simple move creates that strength. Now imagine the gentle lift of your heels during calf raises. It feels subtle, but the science behind it is remarkable. The calf muscles act as your second heart, pumping blood upward against gravity. Without strong calves, circulation slows, swelling increases, and stability collapses. Most falls happen because the ankle couldn't respond quickly enough. One misstep, one weak muscle, and the body goes down. But with every heel raise, blood rushes upward, pressure improves, veins unclog themselves, and your ankles gain the power to stabilize your entire body. A study from the Journal of Gerontology revealed that seniors with stronger calves walk faster, stand taller, and fall less, all from a movement that looks almost too simple to matter. Next is the side leg lift, the guardian of your balance. This move strengthens the gluteus medius, the tiny but powerful muscle responsible for preventing your hips from swaying side to side. When this muscle weakens, the entire body follows. People begin to wobble, steps become uncertain, sideways slips become common. But when this muscle is strengthened, something incredible happens. The brain starts trusting the body again. You walk smoother, you walk safer, and you move with the confidence you thought you had lost forever. In one study, hip strengthening exercises reduced fall frequency by 36% in seniors. That is not small, that is life-changing. Then, ankle circles begin their quiet magic. Seniors often don't realize that poor balance doesn't start in the brain. It starts in the ankles. When the ankles become stiff, the brain receives delayed feedback about where the foot actually is. That tiny delay, just milliseconds, is enough to create instability. But by rotating the ankle and flexing it forward and backward, you restore mobility to the joint, strengthen the tendons, and retrain your nervous system. It's like turning the lights back on in a dark room. Suddenly the brain knows exactly where your body is again. The step back lunge is next, and this movement targets the hamstrings, one of the most ignored muscle groups in seniors. Weak hamstrings cannot support sudden movements, they cannot support quick steps, and they cannot protect the hips from collapsing backward. But the moment you step back and lower your body, even slightly, your hamstrings activate. They engage, they strengthen, and they lift the back half of your body upward. Strong hamstrings mean better walking power, better stair climbing power, and better standing power. They are one of the most important muscles for keeping the body upright after 70. And finally, the simple toe tap, forward, sideways, backward, a movement so small that it looks like nothing. But this is not exercise, this is brain training. Every direction you tap sends electric signals through neural pathways that control balance. These pathways degrade with age unless they are stimulated. Toe taps reawaken them. They sharpen reaction time. They improve coordination. They reduce hesitation while walking. They give your brain the confidence to move fearlessly again. Neurologists have found that targeted foot placement exercises like these improve balance response speed by up to 30%, the difference between catching yourself and falling hard. 7 moves, just minutes a day, but each movement unlocks strength that aging tried to steal from you. Your legs are not gone. Your power is not gone. Your independence is not gone. All it takes is a few minutes, a little consistency, and the belief that you are not done yet, because your body is always listening. And the moment you start moving like someone who deserves strength, your body will become strong again. After 70, the body doesn't simply get weaker by accident. It weakens in very specific places, in very predictable ways, and science has known this for decades. The tragedy is that nobody ever tells seniors which muscles are actually failing them and which movements can bring those muscles back to life. Aging doesn't attack your body evenly. It targets your quads, your glutes, your calves, your hips, and your ankles, the exact muscles this routine was built to protect. These areas are not random. They are the control centers of mobility, balance, and independence. When they fade, life changes. When they strengthen, everything changes back. But most people don't realize how quickly these weak points begin to collapse. Research shows that after the age of 70, the quadriceps lose strength at up to 3% every year. The hips lose stability at nearly double that speed. And the calves, which act as the body's natural shock absorbers, can shrink by 30% in older adults who don't move regularly. These numbers should frighten us, but they should also empower us, because every single one of these weak points can be rebuilt with targeted movement. That is the secret no one shares. Aging doesn't destroy your body, neglect does. And the moment you give your muscles the stimulus they've been waiting for, the body begins repairing itself faster than you expect. Think of the quads, the muscles that allow you to stand, walk, rise from a chair, and stabilize your knees. When they weaken, the joints grind, the knees collapse inward. Every step becomes a negotiation between stability and fear. But the moment you activate them, even with a simple knee extension, the body responds instantly. Blood rushes into fibers that have been starving for movement. Nerves start firing more efficiently. Your knees begin to track correctly again. Studies from the American Geriatric Society show that strengthening the quadriceps improves walking speed by up to 25% and reduces knee pain significantly, even in adults over 80. This isn't slow progress, this is life-changing progress. Then there are the glutes, the powerhouse muscles that support nearly every movement you make. When the glutes weaken, the hips tilt, the spine collapses forward, and the pelvis loses its natural alignment. You may notice yourself shuffling instead of stepping, leaning instead of standing tall, or using your hands to push yourself out of chairs because your legs simply can't do the job anymore. Weak glutes are a silent epidemic in seniors, and yet most people never learn how crucial they are until the damage is done. But when you practice sit to stand, step back lunges, or even gentle hip lifts, something incredible happens. The glutes awaken, they thicken, They stabilize your entire lower body, and they protect you from the devastating side effects of weakness, falls, fractures, and the slow loss of independence. Glute strength alone has been linked to a dramatically lower risk of hip fractures, one of the most dangerous injuries seniors face. Then we move to the calves, the muscles nobody talks about but everyone relies on. Your calves act as the foundation for every step you take, and they serve as the body's natural pump, pushing blood back up toward the heart. When these muscles shrink, circulation slows, swelling increases, and balance becomes unpredictable. In fact, more than half of senior falls begin at the ankle, not the hip or knee, because weak calves cannot react fast enough to sudden changes in terrain. But with every heel raise, every gentle lift and lower, you strengthen these muscles in a way that directly influences your survival. Calf strengthening has been proven to improve balance scores by up to 40% in older adults and significantly reduce the risk of falling backward, one of the most dangerous types of falls. Next are the hip stabilizers, the tiny but powerful muscles along the outside of your hips, especially the gluteus medius. These muscles are the body's anchor. They prevent wobbling. They control side-to-side motion. They decide whether your foot lands safely or twists. And when they weaken, every step becomes a gamble. You may feel like your legs are crossing over one another. You may sway without noticing. You may find yourself grabbing furniture more often, afraid of losing balance. But the moment you lift your legs sideways, even just inches off the ground, these forgotten muscles activate. They strengthen. They stabilize your hips and pelvis. A study from the Journal of Physical Therapy found that seniors who strengthen the hip stabilizers reduce fall frequency by more than 1/3. That's not just a number. That is the difference between living confidently and living cautiously. And then come the ankles, the silent storytellers of your body's age. When you lose ankle mobility, you lose your ability to stabilize yourself during sudden movements. The brain receives slower information about where the foot actually is. A simple shift in the ground can become a dangerous moment, but ankle circles, flexion, and controlled rotations restore this lost mobility. They lubricate the joint, they strengthen the tendons, they sharpen the brain's understanding of your foot position. Research shows that seniors with better ankle mobility have significantly fewer balance-related accidents. Your safety literally begins at your feet. The hamstrings, often ignored, play another essential role. They allow you to lift your body from squatting, support your gait, and stabilize your pelvis. Weak hamstrings make stairs feel impossible. They make standing from low chairs a struggle. They make walking long distances exhausting. But step-back lunges engage those hamstrings instantly, waking up a muscle group that many seniors haven't fully used in years. Stronger hamstrings mean better posture, stronger strides, and a return of the confidence you thought you lost forever. And finally, the nervous system weaves all these weak points together. Toe taps, directional steps, and controlled movements retrain the communication lines between your brain and your legs. Every tap, every shift, every precise movement sharpens your proprioception, your body's ability to sense its position in space. This is the secret behind balance. This is how athletes avoid injury, and this is how seniors can dramatically reduce falls. Neurologists have discovered that improving proprioception can decrease fall risk by nearly 50%, even in adults over 75. Every weakness aging attacks can be countered. Every vulnerable area can be rebuilt. Every one of these moves targets a place the body desperately needs support. Aging is not the enemy. Inactivity is. And the moment you commit to strengthening the exact muscles aging tries to take from you, your entire body begins to transform. Your steps get lighter, your balance steadies, your independence returns, and you discover that strength after 70 is not only possible, it is your body's natural response to being used again. Most people believe strength fades because of age, but scientists know the truth. Strength fades because of inconsistency. The body is not shutting down, it is simply responding to the level of movement it receives. After 70, even a single week of inactivity can cause measurable losses in leg strength, balance, and coordination. Studies show that seniors who stop moving for just 10 days lose up to 10% of their lower body muscle. 10 days, that is how quickly the body responds to stillness. But here's the part most people never hear. The body also responds just as quickly to movement. not heavy workouts, not extreme routines, just small, consistent daily activation, the kind of movements you can do in your living room, in your kitchen, or while holding the back of a chair. Consistency is the medicine, and these movements are the dosage. Every time you repeat these simple exercises, something extraordinary happens inside your body. Your muscle fibers begin regenerating, your blood flow increases, your nerves fire faster, your balance centers in the brain, specifically the cerebellum and the vestibular system, become more responsive. Scientists have proven that the human body, even at 70, 80, or 90, can still rebuild strength at nearly the same rate as people decades younger, as long as the movement is consistent. In one study, adults over 75 gained up to 54% strength in 8 weeks of simple leg exercises performed 3 times a week. They didn't run. They didn't lift weights. They didn't do anything extreme. They simply stayed consistent, and consistency reactivated a body that had been waiting for stimulation. What most people do not realize is that falls do not happen because of age. They happen because the systems that protect you have gone dormant. Your ankles stop communicating with your brain. Your hips stop stabilizing your stride. Your quads lose their ability to catch you when you stumble. But every time you perform these movements, you re-educate these systems. You sharpen the communication between your brain and your muscles. You rebuild the strength that aging tried to erode. And you do something even more powerful. You restore your reaction time. Reaction time is one of the most important predictors of fall prevention. It's not just about how strong your legs are, it's about how quickly they respond when something goes wrong. A slippery floor, a sudden shift in gravity, a misstep on a staircase. These moments require a fast message from the brain to the body. Seniors who train consistently improve their reaction speed significantly, sometimes by as much as 25% in just a few weeks. And that difference is life-changing, because a fall is not just a fall, it is the event that steals independence. It is the moment that sends millions of older adults into hospitals every year. Once a fall happens, mobility declines, confidence declines, and the fear of falling becomes its own prison. But here's the truth almost nobody tells you. More than 80% of falls are preventable. Not with medication, not with equipment, but with consistent, simple, targeted daily movements. Movements that strengthen the exact muscles responsible for catching you when the world shifts under your feet. Consistency also triggers something deeper, neuroplasticity, the brain's ability to rewire itself. When you move regularly, your brain adapts. It creates new connections. It strengthens old pathways. It becomes better at coordinating balance, posture, and movement. This is why seniors who exercise consistently don't just walk better. They think faster, they react faster, they feel younger. Exercise is not just physical, it is neurological, and the effects are profound. A study published in Frontiers in Aging Neuroscience found that consistent lower body movement improved both memory and motor control in older adults. That means these exercises are training your brain and your body at the same time. But consistency does something even more personal. It restores independence. The ability to get out of a chair without help, the ability to climb stairs without grabbing the railing, the ability to walk across a room without feeling unsteady. These are not small victories. These are the victories that define quality of life. Losing independence is one of the greatest fears among seniors, but strength is freedom, balance is freedom, confidence is freedom, and all of it returns with consistency. Every day you repeat these movements, your body remembers a piece of the strength it once had, and day by day those pieces grow into something powerful, a more resilient stride, a steadier posture, a quicker step, the return of trust between your mind and your legs. Even the cardiovascular system benefits from consistency. Stronger calves pump blood more efficiently. Stronger glutes support the spine and protect the hips. Stronger quads reduce knee pain, making walking easier and safer. All of this lowers the strain on your heart, improving endurance and reducing fatigue. You will breathe better, move better, live better. And the most inspiring part? It does not matter when you start. Research from Tufts University revealed that adults in their 80s and 90s can gain muscle mass, improve balance, and even reverse frailty with simple, consistent exercises performed several times a week. The body never stops adapting. It never stops healing. It never stops responding to movement, no matter your age. You are not too old. You have not missed your chance. Your body is still listening. This is why we focus on consistency, not intensity. You do not need brutal workouts. You do not need heavy equipment. You need repetition. You need rhythm. You need the reassurance that every day you are telling your body, get stronger, get steadier, get faster, get healthier, and your body will listen every time. Muscle responds to demand, bones respond to pressure, the brain responds to repetition, and confidence responds to progress. Day by day, movement becomes mastery. Mastery becomes strength, strength becomes safety, and safety becomes independence. This is the path back to control. This is the path back to freedom. This is the path back to the life you deserve. Not a life defined by fear, but a life defined by strength. Not a life waiting for help, but a life powered by your own capability. Not a life measured by age, but a life measured by resilience. Consistency is not just exercise. It is the key that unlocks your future, the medicine your doctor forgot to prescribe, the habit that changes everything. Because when you commit to these few minutes a day, your body doesn't just get stronger, your life gets bigger, your world gets safer, your confidence returns, and your independence becomes something you reclaim with every single movement you make.